My name is Ntende, and welcome to today's episode of Ask Ntende. Today we'll be talking about understanding business management. So sometimes managing businesses looks obvious, but this is one of the most complicated things to do out there. Yes, so many people take on the job of being CEO because they have started companies, but the amount of work that is within the job is astronomical. The amount of learning you have to do as a CEO of any job is quite complicated. So for today's topic, what we'll do is we'll try and break down that job description, try and help you to understand how exactly you can manage your business, what it takes to get a company from point A to point B. So we'll go in depth about what you need to do under sales, what you need to do under marketing, what you need to do under customer support, what you need to do under accounts. Ideally, everything that you need to do to run your business will be discussed in this video. So if you're not already subscribed, please feel free to hit the subscribe button right around there. So to get us started, let's begin with marketing. The reason I chose marketing is because this is one of the most relevant components of every company. It is the one that's most misunderstood. So what happens in most scenarios is, I've talked to a couple of lawyers, talked to a couple of people in the construction world. They imagine that marketing is getting someone and taking one of your salespeople and taking them to the field, and they begin talking about your product. But no, that is not what marketing is. Marketing is actually the art of creating leads to come to you, creating relevance such that you have leads that are coming in, which leads are then supposed to be closed by the salespeople. So most people are trying to combine the two, but that's not what it's supposed to be. The two are absolutely different because there are different milestones for marketing and there are different milestones for for sales, I mean. All right, so just to kick that off, my role here is to try and get you to understand what is actually entailed within marketing as a component. Now, marketing is broken down into three core things. Number one, content creation. Number two, content distribution. Content distribution tries to address what is the most opportune channel for you to distribute your content, because you have to understand the same clients you're looking for are on the internet, meaning they're being bombarded with so many ads, they're being bombarded with so much information that the moment you the moment you make a mistake and don't get relevant to them, they tend to forget you faster and faster. And the third component, which is actually the most important, is the analysis. So I'm just going to try and, of course, hint a few things to watch out for in each of those components. But in case you need any help, you could always reach out to us at Monkey Pesa Marketing Services, and we can be in position to help you organize this docket of your business. All right, so let me put some facts out there. Number one, fact number one is, I know you're going after clients, but you need to understand these clients have a lot of things happening. The moment they're on social media, there is this happening, there is that, there is this, there is this, there is this, there is that. There is so much information that is being given to them that the moment you do not get relevant to them, they tend to just view information as all that other information that passes by. So as a company or as a marketing team of a company, it's prudent that you find a way of getting value to those people so that they pay attention to you. Meaning, as a marketing person, your job is to try and grow relevant traffic. Most people make a mistake of just getting as many followers as possible, but that is the worst possible mistake you could make. There's some scenarios where someone has 10,000 subscribers and another person has 1,000, but out of those 1,000 subscribers, the number of people that are actually interested in what they are doing, the number of people that are giving them money, are more out of this person that has a smaller following than a person that has a bigger following. So when you're setting up your marketing trail, there are two major components you need to understand. Number one, how is our brand growing? What measurables do we have in place to help us understand that our brand is getting from point one to point two in terms of growth? Number two, how many more leads are being created? So a perfect marketing campaign entails, first of all, trying to understand those two components before you even come down to these other things I was talking about earlier. After you have understood those other things, those two components, who are we going after? Who are our leads, that is, and how much do we want to grow? Then you come to the second docket, which is the breakdown that I earlier shared. So you come down to the content. Which kind of content are you making? Yes, people tend to hurry and make funny things, but yes, funny things attract so many people, but they end up not attracting the right people. The right people being the ones who are going to try and lead to you making some money. So as a business, it's prudent that as opposed to you sharing funny content, try and bring out content that is relevant to your industry. So take an example, you're in the construction world. It would make sense to give people tips on how to save money when buying things that they are going to use to construct. If you're in the legal world, talk to people and tell them, you know what, here are tips you need to watch out for when purchasing land. That is information that is relevant to your industry. And it's information that if someone who was looking for a way to prevent being scammed when they're making transfer of their paperwork of a property to another name, it's in case they need help, you're positioning yourself at the right possible time, because this person is looking for that information and you have been the one that has availed that information. So it's a match. That's how you end up getting that docket properly catered for. Focus on the need, then the want afterwards. And the second docket was the distribution channel. Yes, most people think that once you've posted on Facebook, that is it. You've finished marketing, but it's not necessarily the case. Different industries have different premium networks. If you're in the B2B world, sometimes it actually makes more sense to focus on LinkedIn as opposed to being on Twitter and Instagram. If you're in the B2C world, definitely Instagram is still number one, Facebook number two. But that really depends on the industry you're in. First, choose what is our opportune network. How do we grow a strong presence there? Then how do we grow our network? Because like I said, things keep evolving. So how do you stay on top of each and every one of those components? Regardless of the channel, find a way of transcending such that your brand is everywhere. Whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Snapchat, be everywhere, but put appropriate focus on the channels that are strongest for your kind of industry. And the third docket is the analysis. This is the most important segment of everything. When you're marketing, remember you're testing this, you're putting information on Facebook, putting information on Twitter, putting information on TikTok, putting information everywhere. You're releasing videos on YouTube. Now, as a marketer, your most important job is to try and understand what is working and what isn't. Now, there are several softwares that you can use for this, some of which I think we'll list in a subsequent video. But after you have shared everything, after you have posted this, after you have created this kind of content and shared it, you need to make all of it make sense to understand what is working and what isn't. Now, if you need help with setting everything in that docket app, you could always feel free to just leave a comment at the bottom. We'll be in position to find ways of helping you, advising which tools you can use, advising which direction you can take. But ideally, that is what marketing is about. It's a whole other segment of your company which you as a manager need to know. You need to know so that you can teach people how to do this. You need to either know or hire the relevant people that know. The second thing we're going to address is sales. When you're starting out, usually you're the only salesperson in your company, so it's a bit easy because you're the same person tracking everyone. So it's easy to keep ahead of that. However, the problems start coming in when, number one, you now have a bigger sales team. So take an example, you now have 5 sales staff. How do you track what each and every one of those sales staff is doing? How do you track the effectiveness to know that what they're doing is right? What they're doing is not causing detriment to the company as a whole. Number 2 is now when the number of clients increase, they're now more than 200, 300 clients. How are you actually going to stay effective at managing each and every one of those clients? That's where software comes in handy. Softwares provide what they call sales pipelines, which sales pipelines are effective towards helping you achieve organization of the entire sales department as a whole. Now, Monkey Pesa, we're launching a software that is intended to help with sales, marketing, customer care, and accounting. In our sales funnel, we added the sales pipelines as one of the features. Now, these sales pipelines are intended to help you to understand, number one, at which level of the sales pipeline is this client and who exactly is handling that client. Number two, what is the conversation like between salesperson X and client Y? So that is the purpose of those softwares. They're intended just to help you maintain some sort of quality control and stay ahead, so that, sometimes people take conversations to their personal emails, sometimes they take information to their personal WhatsApps. Now, as a company, it's hard for you to track what's happening there. So why not bring them on one central location, such that at least every email that is sent out, you know that, okay, this is the right way you should be sending emails. And any communication, any SMS, any WhatsApp that is sent, just do it under one central umbrella, because that way it will be much, much easier for you to do quality control and to essentially track what is happening at every client's level. And it also helps with automation, because sometimes you may have had a client that came in Jan. That client equally needs as much attention as the client that comes in September. So these systems just help you kind of automate phases at which different clients are. And number two, just to send out emails and reminders to help you just pay attention to that customer that came in at an earlier time. So ideally, when it comes to sales, honestly, the best logical way you have out is by leveraging softwares like the Monkey Pesa software. The next topic we're going to address is accounting. When you start out as a small company, it's prudent that you, the CEO or the manager, gets to understand how to deal with accounting. Reason being is this is the lifeline of your company. So there is money coming in, there is money going out. And if you, the manager or the CEO, cannot track and effectively manage this inflow and outflow, then as you grow bigger, it gets much harder and harder and harder for you to do this. So yes, some people may say it's a bit expensive to hire an accountant as a startup, which is true. That's why tech comes in a bit more handy. You can use softwares. Yes, I know some of these cost money. They cost averagely between $10 and $50. But the cost of you using one of these accounting softwares and doing it yourself is much, much cheaper than the cost of you having to hire an accountant to help you do your accounts, especially as a startup. So ideally, when it comes to accounting, it's prudent that first of all, get to figure out how to do it yourself. Because there's some terms you need to understand. How do you read a profit and loss statement? How do you read cash flow statements? How do you get to visualize and analyze all those things? And as a manager, I feel like with tech, you can now do most of these things yourself. It's until you grow bigger that now you can hire other people, but after you clearly know what to do, so that in case of any discrepancy, you still know where the discrepancies could be, because you now know how to do it yourself. So ideally, that is relatively straightforward. Accounting is about knowing how to manage the inflow and the outflow of money, have it recorded somewhere, and these systems will undoubtedly be in position to help you with that. Now, Monkey Pesa is launching a business management engine, and among the features that we would have is the accounting management software. And if you have Monkey Pesa, the entire package of Monkey Pesa, this will just be a coin in a bucket. So it's just among the features that you would have. So with the software, the Monkey Pesa software, you won't need to have so many of these varying softwares to run your company. You can rely on that one software to do everything to do with your company. And the last segment we need to pay special attention to is customer care. So what happens after you have closed a certain client? You have signed a contract and this person is now one of your clients. You want this person to keep paying you money every month to try and bring in some extra business for you. So naturally, it becomes prudent that you maintain some kind of relationship with this person. Now that is where the customer service comes in handy. You want people to feel comfortable dealing with you in case they have a query and they have sent it in. How is this query being handled? How do you know that this query is being handled the right way? How do you know that your salespeople are responding to questions in a timely manner? So these are some of the questions that customer care has to answer. And it comes down to the same thing. It's technology, technology, technology. So there are several softwares that can help you do this, just to help you track. Someone has sent in a query, I bought a phone from you and it had a problem. Just go back in the system and track, has my customer care representative responded to that question well? That is the way you will build loyalty over time. So as a business owner, those are the 4 core things you have to look at. If you own a business, make sure you clearly understand marketing. Make sure you understand what is entailed under sales. Make sure you understand your accounting to the dot. And make sure you understand customer support. Everything else kind of just ends up falling within that docket. But as long as you have those 4 core things sorted out, you're good to go. You can run any business. So in case you need any help setting up your structures, in case you need any help with marketing, in case you need any help with sales, we have done this over and over, and I've worked with several companies to help refine their models. So we'll undoubtedly be in position to help you. If you need any help, you could just simply leave a comment. I'll be in position to respond to that. And in case you aren't already subscribed, please feel free to hit the subscribe button again. Thank you.